be absolutely outstanding. How about the note? When the A's make we're going to put, sometimes you got to put things into the universe. You got to put it out into the universe and make it real. The A's are going to be in the postseason next year, and that means all the games will be played here at the ballpark in West Sacramento.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Because that was always a big decision. Like, what happens if the Athletics make the playoffs? What would they do? Where would they go? We know if the Athletics make the playoffs in 2026, all the games will be right here at the ballpark in West Sacramento. We don't have to worry about that anymore. We know next year, the playoffs, this team's going to be in the playoffs next year.
Yeah, no, I mean, with the way that things are going and the excitement around here, yeah, and the home opener next year here in West Sacramento is against the hated Houston Astros. So that'll be the home opener next year in West Sac after the team plays in Toronto and plays against the Atlanta Braves on the road.
The start of the season is going to be tough. We definitely have to get into that. And I need to get into the press release here.
Good update there, Towny.
Well, I got more than that, Ken Korak. All right, so we got special dates. The Yankees are going to be here May 29th through the 30th, through the 31st. Then you'll have the Los Angeles Dodgers make their first appearance here at the ballpark in West Sacramento, June 29th to July 1st. The Red Sox are going to be here July 27th through the 30th. The A's will play at home. You got some huge holidays. We're going to have the Seattle Mariners here on Memorial Day. We're going to have the Angels here on Father's Day, the Miami Marlins on July 4th, and then the Toronto Blue Jays on Labor Day on September 7th. So A's going to be home for all the big holidays.
Yeah, which is great.
So it's kind of crazy how this schedule is working out, and I think the one we're going to be most excited about is going to be going to Vegas for June. It's going to be June 8th all the way through the 14th. It's 2 series at the ballpark in Summerlin. Speaking of Summerlin, we're going to have Chris Mallory, the president of the Summerlin South Little League that just won the U.S. Championship, played in the World Series, lost to Chinese Taipei, but they did win the United States Championship for Little League. He's going to join us tomorrow. They're having their big parade down in Summerlin at 6 o'clock tomorrow. So we're going to have him on the program tomorrow. But we will be at the ballpark in Summerlin. It's going to be 3 against Milwaukee, a day off, and then 3 against the Colorado Rockies. And we're going to blow that out. A week in Vegas, baseball. I mean, if there's anything I'm looking forward to, a lot of great games on the schedule here in Sacramento, but super fired up about those 6 games in Vegas.
No, it's going to be a lot of fun seeing like you said, maybe potentially World Series champion Brewers, and they can get there, and then the Rockies, and then it's going to be a lot of fun down there. And I mean, we're going to be going there in the next few months, but going down there for actual 6 games at the ballpark in Las Vegas that Fran Reardon built, it'll be a lot of fun.
So basically, when you show up to the ballpark next year here in Sacramento, there's going to be something going on like every single game. So it's going to be fantastic, but it's going to be rough. You're going to start across the border in Toronto. Then it's going to be 3 in Atlanta. So you're going to start on the East Coast. Then you're going to come home for 3 against Houston. Obviously going to be brutal. Then you're going to have a day off and fly all the way back to the East Coast. Start on the East Coast, come back here 3 on the West Coast, and then go back to the East Coast. And it's an all New York series, Yankees. So if you want to travel early on in the year and you want to go, a week in New York, doesn't get any better than that. 3 against the Yankees and then 3 against the Mets. No day off when you come back. And then you're going to have the Rangers for 4. And then you're going to round out with Mariners, Rangers, and Royals again. That's basically how your April and March your March and April is going to go. And as we know, what happened this year, it'll be a big thing that we will stress in spring training, because a lot of people still want to say, you know what, if the A's didn't lose 20 and 21, they'd still be in it right now. And the answer to that is correct. But the problem is they did lose 20 of 21, and they did lose 28 of 34. How you start the season when people try and sell you that garbage that, it's early, it doesn't matter. Look where they got the club this year. So these games, when you talk about starting in, Toronto's going to be good, Atlanta's going to be good, Houston's going to be good, Yankees, Mets going to be good. The first part of the schedule, they're going to have to come out. They're going to have to excel.
Yeah.
Not
Absolutely.
Survive. They're going to have to excel against the best. You're going to have to, right out of the gate, prove you're one of the best teams in baseball.
Yeah, and it's a good test early to show where the team can be. We saw what they did this year, and then obviously you mentioned the bad stretches. But I think next year with all the experience they're getting this year, next year going forward, the young guys are going to have another year under their belt. It's going to be exciting, and hopefully get the pitching back on track, the guys back healthy, and it'll be a lot of fun to see those teams. And then, there's some high-level matchups that will be coming here later in the season too. I mean, we might get a chance after the trip to Vegas to see Paul Skeens pitch when the Pirates come to town.
So you're going to have Boston and Detroit in a series. That's going to be in July. The last series is going to be at home. You're going to have the Angels, and you're going to have 4 against the Houston Astros to end the season.
Oh, Houston again on the last homestand?
2 against so the Halos will come here for 2, and then the last 4 games going to be the Astros. I mean, come on. What that could mean for the division, what that could mean for the playoffs. It's going to be great.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to
Trust me, it's going to go quick. We only have 29 games left right now. It's hard to believe we only have 29 games left. This has by far been one of the fastest seasons that I can remember since we started A's Cast.
Oh, 100%. And plus, we haven't really been home all season either. I mean, we're back and forth between here and San Francisco, so it's not like before we got all the road games from the remote road studio. Now we're going back and forth. Yeah, it feels like this year has gone by very fast.
Now,
I don't even know where to go to eat.
What's crazy is after Vegas. So Vegas is going to be a homestand, and then we come back here to Sacramento. So it's like back-to-back homestands. I don't know if that's ever really been done in baseball. So a week in Vegas and then a week in Sacramento, all considered home games. I don't know if anyone's ever done that before.
I was saying, like, you do a week in Vegas, come home, no off days, come back, play the Pirates and the Angels when you come back to the ballpark in West Sacramento. So it's going to be a lot of back and forth, but a lot of fun for those 4 series because you get to see a lot of different things.
And then looking at it, boy, it's really – and then after that, you got day off, and then you go down to take on the Giants. So it's like being in this so you play in Vegas, then you hang out in Northern California for a while. That could be a definite strength for the Athletics. Because of time and things have changed, we thought Jeffrey Springs show got off to a little bit of a hectic start.
Just to put it out there, we're not going to be able to play the whole email right now. He's 22 minutes long. So we can play half of it and then play half of it after Jeffrey Springs.
I don't want to play half of it.
Because I told Johnny about doing hot takes over the doing hot takes from the booth, and I don't know if he wants to do it.
Well, tell him to come down now. If we're going to do hot takes, we'll do it now. We'll have to do it now. Because I do. If Scott Emerson was so good today, if we can't get to Scott Emerson, I'd rather play him tomorrow in his entirety. Because Scott Emerson, I mean, it was some high-level stuff when you talk about pitching and talk about where the A's have been this year pitching, because all of a sudden things have actually gotten really good. If you haven't been really following it, the A's right now, since July 24th, they have the second-best record in all of baseball at 19-10. Last night's victory, a lot of people around the clubhouse, inside the dugout, believe that was the best victory of the year. There was a buzz. Scott Emerson talking about it. Well, you know what? How much Springs is going to be how long?
I don't know, probably 7
We
minutes.
break early. We get to Springs, so we think we can get Emo in today?
Yeah, we should be able to. If Springs gets here at 5:30.
Okay. Because we got it's really important that we play all of that because we talked about so many different things. I want the fans definitely to hear it. But that home run last night, the Shea Langoliers grand slam, the team knew that they were going up against the best. And these guys, your entire life, you strive to be the best. You want to play against the best. It's the old Ric Flair, to be the man, you got to beat the man. And it still shows in our game today when you have a high-level pitcher, everybody gets up for it. And everybody got up for this game last night because Skubal is one of a kind. He is special. He's never going to have the crazy numbers to get you into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Why? Because he's a 2-time Tommy John guy. I don't know how long he'll last. Let's just enjoy him while we got him. But obviously there was a buzz in the ballpark when you're facing a guy like this. And the fact that JT Ginn was matching him for most of the game, it shows you pitching, having a great guy out there, how the crowd is so involved. And then the way the A's would come and they would beat Skubal, and that grand slam by Shea Langoliers, who, my God, is having a historic August. His August is absolutely unbelievable.
You want me to play the highlight?
Play it.
2-1 stretch pitch. Swing and a drive deep to left. The A's take the lead in grand fashion. Oh, that's his biggest swing of the year by far. 29th home run is a grand slam, and the A's have their first lead of the night. It's 6-3 green and gold.
Oh, the energy in the building. I was standing behind Johnny and Chris when that was hit. I mean, the energy was, and Johnny will tell you, right, he was in the booth next to Chris. It was to watch their interaction. Oh, we don't have a chair for Johnny. All right, we'll stand.
Everything's all over the place now that everything's been pushed back on our show.
Sorry, Johnny. Things got a little crazy here to start the show. The energy between you and Chris, I was standing right behind you guys. Just that swing, and a guy hitting a grand slam is not the story. It's not his second career grand slam. It's not the story. Yeah. It's who he hit the grand slam off is the story.
No doubt. And what that does.
Let's get Johnny's mic on.
What that does for a team's confidence and to do that off Scooble for the whole team, right? And you saw the dugout erupt, Towny, and it was a really good moment. I mean, Chris's call was unbelievable. So was Jenny's. I mean, both calls were incredible. It was just a great moment in A's history. It really was.
You've called every game this year, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So how do you rate last night's game compared to some of the other big games?
It's got to be right there at the top, right? Especially because it's at home. But Towny, for me, I always go back to Kurtz's go-ahead homer in Kansas City to silence the crowd and just take him out of it. That felt so good.
Wow, you're going over the 19 total base game, 4 home runs?
That game, too, that was elite. But there's so – you're right. I think 4 homer games probably number one. That's 2. But I'll tell you what, that Kansas City game's up there for me. Yeah.
I was, thinking about games, great games this year, and this was a long time ago. But now when you think about who he did it against, the Severino start against Milwaukee – in Milwaukee, where he went 8.
Yes.
And it was that's why we paid this guy. And remember how, we didn't realize how elite Milwaukee, how elite they are. But to me, that was a terrific game. So it's interesting to think, but it's got pretty hard to beat last night because the home run and who it was against. And, and not only that, just not Scooble. Detroit's got the best record in the American League.
It does. And you know what I do? And I don't know. I know you and I are the same way, Towny. And I don't know if you are too, Commander. But to me, I woke up today thinking about the 20-21 because what could have been, right? That 20-21 is always in my mind. Every day I think about it. And I hate that I think about it. But I just think, what would this team be if they won 7 of those games or 8 of those games? I know that I talked to Bobby Crosby about it. And it's just – I hate that I think about that. And look, it's part of the fabric of the season. There's nothing we can do about it. But all those great moments doesn't take away the great moments, but it's just what might have been, right?
Well, and that takes us to the schedule. Have you been looking at the schedule?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
You start Toronto and Atlanta on the road, come back home for a quick 3 with Houston, and then you're back on the East Coast to New York and the Mets.
Yeah.
This first month, April, March, March, April.
Yeah.
This is no joke. Then you look into May, it's no joke. The Philadelphia Phillies you're going to be on the road against. I mean, it's going to be, the A's got to figure out early how to win early in the season.
Against good teams.
That's it's like what we're doing now. It's great, right? Can you build up? But the bottom line is, as we learned this year, and really the last 3 Mays have not been good. No. They've got to figure out how to stay in the race and win games early against elite teams.
Because I know you, and I listen to you a lot, and you say, look, I'm tired of people saying it's early. You know what I mean? Right? Even in late April, you're like, look, it's not early because every game counts, right? We think about the games that are late, but every game counts. So when you think early May, it's not early anymore.
I may be panicking first week of the season.
Right? Exactly.
I'm going to need my anxiety medicine. I don't have anxiety, but I may have it next year early in the season.
I panic after the first run's given up on the season. I'm like, oh, boy, here we go.
Here we go. Negative Nancy. Chris Caray is with us. How are you, Chris Caray?
I sprinted down here. It's more out of shape than I thought, but good. Good to see you guys.
Sorry about the change of plans. They changed the plans on us. We just have to be able to adapt. I was just asking Johnny, I was standing right behind you as you made that call. Phenomenal call. The electricity, what that game meant to this ball club and to you guys, because your guys' interaction during that was priceless. You guys don't – it's interesting because I'm watching it. You guys are living it. I was watching you, and Johnny's pointing at Chris. That's a great call. Like the synergy between you two is special.
Well, he's a great friend and a great partner, a brother, if you will. And I think he's just been very supportive during this transition to me doing radio. And obviously it's a big work in progress, but I got a great blueprint with him and Ken, and to be able to use that and channel that. Where the audio didn't peak and I didn't, voice crack, it felt pretty good in the moment.
Congratulations, yeah, like puberty, and you didn't crack. That's a big deal.
I know. It's
awesome.
It's kind of like that, sort of, a little bit, but they've been with me every step of the way. The good calls, the bad calls, and hopefully there are many more good calls to come.
You want to really date ourselves? Was that Bobby Brady?
Exactly right.
Brady Bunch, where his voice cracked, or what?
Yeah, Bobby Brady.
I thought you were going to go with. I thought you were going to say something else. That's okay. They're going to say, well, at least you saw the ball went out of the ballpark.
Oh wow! Wow, yeah, we're having a moment.
I thought he was going to go there.
Brady Bunch, and you go there. Just the commander. All right, play the opening. Brady Bunch. Look it up on Google. It's yeah.
Here, you never heard it here.
Every once in a while,
I've heard this.
Really good sports hot take.
I believe the A's will have a
good style
15-run game. They need a laugher.
Not only will Brent Rooker be an all-star, Brent Rooker will be in the home run derby this year.
I don't think we're seeing Juan Soto for 5-6 guys. I'm predicting we will not see one blazing hot big trade.
Then you hear some really bad hot takes.
Gio Urshela is going to hit his first home run of the year tonight.
Aaron Judge will not record a hit this weekend against the A's.
I'm calling it now. There will be a collapse in Milwaukee, and the Chicago Cubs will catch them.
Well, on A's Cast Live, all takes are hot takes. It's time for Hot Takes Tuesday with Chris Townsend, only on A's Cast Live.
All right, Johnny has noticed it, and I'm just saying, folks, you start looking at April 7th through the 12th. If you are a fan of traveling and you like baseball, that week, you're a week in New York. 3 against the Yankees, 3 against the Mets. That is a very rare, for you guys on the traveling party, that's like ching, 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 ching.
Question, man. Have you been in New York for a week? Are you kidding me?
Remember we had Chicago. We were in Chicago for that was such a great trip, but this is New York.
You can be both, and you can see both New York teams after they don't make the postseason. Is that too soon? I mean, am I saying something that's out of line? I mean, they're both not doing well.
He's bringing it today.
Not only do you have 6 days in New York, it starts with a day off on that Monday. So you get a day off and then 6 days in New York.
Oh, wow.
So 7 full days in New York.
Amazing.
Oh, my God.
Or who wants to go? Who wants to go first?
Why don't you go first?
Mine has something with baseball.
Yes, you know what? Save yours. Save yours.
No, mine is contingent because he told me a little bit of what mine is after he answers. So I have to go after him.
Okay, so start it.
So as we know, the big news today was Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce of the Kansas City Chiefs, for those people who don't listen to the podcast. New Heights.
Okay, so my daughters were texting me about this today. This is how big it is. And so this is a great example to all the kids out there who love to use the word superstar. This has been an ongoing thing with some fans and me because I ruffled a lot of feathers in the Pacific Northwest. You were watching at the time when I said, Shooty Babbitt said to me, well, Julio Rodriguez is a superstar. I went, superstar? How is he a superstar? What is he?
I get it.
And then the whole Pacific Northwest came after me on Instagram. I've had a couple people say something here. Folks, a superstar is someone who transcends their sport. When my children who have no idea who the Kansas City Chiefs are, what they are, but they know who Travis Kelce is, that means you're a superstar. Now, just because Taylor Swift has helped it, but that's what happened. When you're Elvis, when you're Michael Jordan, when you're Ali, you're Wayne Gretzky, when you transcend your sport, that is what a superstar is. LeBron James, Steph Curry, they're superstars. Very few superstars in baseball.
I actually had to let my wife know this happened because she was asleep from working last night, and she woke up and she goes, "Oh my God, they're engaged!" And then I got an endless amount of texts, and it's like I already know they're engaged. But so my hot take is very easy: Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift will not make it to their wedding day.
They don't even make it to the wedding?
They don't get married.
It is. It's a piping hot
One
take.
of the hottest takes I've ever heard. They're going to make it to that. That's ridiculous. They're going to make it 35 years. They're going to make it.
35 years?
Wow.
35, 40 years, 50 years. They're going to make it. They're making it as long. Yeah, I mean, they'll make it. They're going to make it.
I need you to run down the celebrity couples that lasted that long.
Yeah, it's true.
This is a Kevin Bacon situation with Kyle Sedgwick. What's her name? Kira Sedgwick.
Kira Sedgwick.
Kira Sedgwick. They're going to make it. They're
Okay,
gonna make
all right.
So
He's saying they don't even get to the altar.
I've been perusing social media.
This is a man that's on his second marriage too. He may
Yeah.
know something that we don't know.
Yeah, I've been perusing social media, and somebody said today is a very, very bad day for guys in their late 20s and long-term relationships. Because it sets the tone. Somebody else said The Life of a Showgirl, which is her next album. What if she put like a golden ticket to the wedding in one of the albums? I mean, it's got 5 million copies sold in the first week, regardless. But still,
That's a great idea
it's a
too.
sonic boom.
Jesus, we could be making money.
My take is, and it's probably not as hot as this take, 2026 is the year of the superstar pop star actress and the superstar athlete relationship. I think we're going to see 5 to 10 more big time relationships from the biggest pop stars, actors, actresses dating athletes. I think that the model has been set. You see, I don't know if you're familiar with Madison Beer. She's dating Justin Herbert, the quarterback now,
Oh, wow.
a big-time pop star.
Huh?
This is going to be the year of the pop star dating the big-time athlete because it's worked out very well. Just in terms of marketing alone, however legitimate the relationship is with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, you think it's going 35 years. You don't think it's going to last.
It'll probably be somewhere in the middle.
I think that the blueprint has clearly been set for people that are not only trying to elevate their relationship status, but also their marketability.
It's all about your brand, my friend.
Yep.
And if your significant other can help your brand, see, that's where I screwed up. I married a teacher. She can't help the brand.
I disagree. I think she helps your brand.
All right, Johnny, what's yours?
All right.
My hot take is that the A's shortstop is going to qualify for the batting title. The A's shortstop's going to win the bat. Jacob Wilson's going to win the batting title. You may say, is that really a hot take? Yeah, it's a hot take. Missed that time. He's going to have enough. He's going to have enough at bats. Jacob Wilson will win the batting title. Jacob Wilson will win the batting title. That's factual. It's going to happen.
I like it. I like it.
Sure.
Always positive. I like it.
All right. At this time of the year is when we used to, and I don't think we have it ready, but when I like to play Happy Trails.
Oh, yeah, we don't have it on this
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Basically, your season's done. And that's happening this weekend. Nathan Eovaldi is on the shelf now for the Texas Rangers. Marcus Semien on the shelf for the Texas Rangers. Oh, yeah, there it is. It's about time. They can still do those giveaways about the World Series, even though that didn't happen last year. It was the year before. That's a tired act. We can say goodbye to Boch, and we can say goodbye to the Texas Rangers because the A's sweep them this weekend and will officially put the dagger in the heart of the Rangers and the final nails in the coffin of the 2025 Texas Rangers.
I love
Texas
that.
Walker Ranger, you're
Walker,
done.
Texas Ranger.
Whatever it is, you're done this
And does
weekend.
that mean the A's finish in third place because of that? I mean,
That's not part of my hot take.
Okay,
I'm
all
just
right.
saying we sweep them this
All right.
weekend
all right.
with DeGrom on the mound on Sunday.
I love it.
Take down Scooble and DeGrom in the
Oh.
same homestand.
I love it. I love it.
I'm
All right, love it.
sweating right now. I'm so fired
Well,
up.
that's going to do it for Hot Takes this week.
It's over?
Yeah, we got to go.
All right, coming up,
Yeah.
Jeffrey Springs is going to join us right here on A's Cast Live. Great job, gentlemen. Have a good
Thank you,
call
guys.
tonight. A's Cast in the A's Radio Network. By the way, you can't see this if you're just listening on A's Cast of the A's Radio Network, but the corduroy hat with the elephant, we have it here on the desk. That's the giveaway tonight. Get here. It is awesome. Jeffrey Springs next.
ESPN's Paul Hembekides praised the A's young lineup, calling it one to watch while on A's Cast Live with Towny.
I have sure been noticing, and as I go to my Twitter timeline, and I look at a tweet that I sent out at 11:37 a.m. Eastern on July 31st, the day of the Major League Baseball trade deadline, a tweet that has seen nearly 1 million views. As you may have seen, all I did was list any number of promising young players in the A's either lineup or system with their attached age. And this is something that people very clearly resonated with, because I list here Leo DeVries, Nick Kurtz, Max Muncy, Jacob Wilson, Tyler Soderstrom, Lawrence Butler, Denzel Clark, Shea Langoliers, and Brent Rooker, all of whom are 30 years of age or considerably younger. And so what I am telling you, my friend, is that the A's are building a freaking Leviathan. The A's lineup within the course of the next 3 years is going to be considered one of the 5 best in baseball. And right now you might say that their numbers are being inflated slightly or considerably by the fact that they play in a hitter-friendly ballpark. Last time you and I spoke, I believe I told you I expect it to play small, and it most certainly has. However, you can even adjust what the A's are doing by ballpark, and you still clearly see Nick Kurtz hitting out of his ever-loving mind, and Jacob Wilson before the injury doing the exact same thing. So by no means am I willing to sit here and say that these guys are merely a product of their environment. No. This A's lineup is for real. It is ascending, and by the time you guys wind up where you ultimately wind up, I think we're talking about one of the very best lineups in all of baseball once these guys reach their prime collectively.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/A'sCast.
A's Director of Player Development, Ed Sprague, joined Towny on A's Cast Live to discuss watching Leo DeVries play and what really wows him.
His swing in the on-deck circle is exactly like his swing in the game. You know, some guys' on-deck circle swing is a reminder of what they're trying to do, swing down the ball or swing up on the ball. His is just perfect balance. His lower half is balance. He talks about his lower half balance. He sees the ball really well. His takes are really good, you know, and that's a good indication of how you're seeing the ball. He takes to the zone. He can check off pitches, and it's very similar from both sides. You know, I mean, I saw him probably a little more from the left than I did the right. Not that I've seen a ton, but it looks good. You know, I joked to David. I said, you may have just traded for Juan Soto, you know, so, you know, I hope that brings out to be true. And I know that's high praise on the kid, but in a small sample size, there was certainly a lot to like.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/A'sCast.
A's Cast Live continues from West Sacramento. Here's Chris Townsend.
Jeffrey Springs joins us here on A's Cast Live, the lefty for your athletics. Just talking off the air, you know, when I first met you, that was down at spring training, and you didn't know me from Adam, and we just started rapping, and it was like, you know, obviously the big thing for you is coming here and getting an opportunity, and I you know, my goal really was I can get 25 starts out of you. And you talked about 30 starts. I'm like, man, we get 30 starts out of you and Severino. But I was like, man, 25 starts would really say a lot about what you've been through the past few years and where you are now, healthy. You're at 25 starts.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
I mean, it means everything. You know, obviously the work that's put in, you know, in the off season, the preparation, you know, all the time that you miss. And to me, you look around the guys in the league that post 25, 30 plus starts a year. So much respect for what they're able to do and how hard that is. And, you know, the grind that, you know, they're able to go through, just, you know, you kind of look to those guys and it's like, that's what I want to do. I want to stack innings. I want to stack starts. I want to be as consistent as possible. So, you know, my teammates, the coaching staff, everybody, you know what you're going to get every 5 days. Like I said, there's several guys around the league that do that, like the guy last night. There's a bunch of them, and you know those are the players you want to strive to be like.
Speaking of last night, that was pretty special, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you got potential Cy Young winner. You know, I know it's a close race, but to be able to get him like that was an awesome moment. You know, just continuing to try to put together good at bats against an unbelievable arm who's really locked in, and Shea to come through and stay hot. That was cool. That was a really cool moment.
And to watch JT Ginn match him for most of the night, and what I love about it, it shows you once again the power of the starting pitcher from the entertainment standpoint of our game. Like some people have tried to downplay the starter. It's like, look at the energy in the building when you got a great starter and people battling that great starter. It could lead to some serious magic.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, JT matched him. You know, I felt like pitch for pitch pretty much is what it seemed. He's got unbelievable stuff, and you know, we have a lot of young arms that are, you know, playing up to the the opponent, so to speak, and it's exciting. I mean, the future is so bright for so many players around here, the team, and last night was kind of a glimpse of it.
When I think about your year, there's some serious ups, there's some downs, but the great thing is that you have all that. It means you're having a full season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, obviously, unfortunately, you got to go through the ups and the downs. The downs were a little bit lower than I wanted them to be, but that's part of it. I mean, like we talked about, you missed time. There's some kinks you got to work out and kind of grind through. And again, it hasn't gone completely like I wanted it to, but there's still a chance to end on a pretty solid high note, and that's the goal.
Oh, yeah, you have really good numbers. I mean, you should start looking down the line, especially your whip, what you've been able to do this year, keeping traffic off the bases. The thing with you, the fastball, everything plays off the fastball. The changeup's fantastic. The breaking ball. Just what do you think has really been the main thing that's gotten you into the groove this year?
I think just locating the fastball and everything kind of plays off of that. Early on, it was, hit or miss. The movement, the characteristics of it were kind of off. There were some things in the delivery that were a little bit off that were kind of hindering that. But really been working hard to try to get that back dialed in to what it was, a few years ago, to where, I know I can have success up in the zone, down in the zone, and then, the secondary pitches kind of play off of it. So it's trending in the right direction. I don't think it's quite clicked yet. But, I feel like I'm getting closer.
The young talent around here. You've been around a lot of good young talent, especially your days back with the Rays.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about what you're seeing with the young talent with the Athletics.
Oh man, it's incredible. The amount of potential, I guess you could say, from the at bats, the power, the defense, the things that they're capable of doing. Our lineup is stacked with potential superstars. I mean, you're seeing it. You're seeing the numbers in Kurtz, Shea, Rooker's doing his thing. The Law, you could go on and on, Jacob Wilson, Sodi, it's a very deep lineup. And it's young guys, and you think about 22, 23 years old, what they're going to be like when they're 25, 26, and they get, another year or two under them, and they're only getting better. So, I mean, the potential is through the roof. It's crazy how much talent we have in our lineup, and, even guys coming off the bench, putting together great at-bats. It's super exciting.
Well, and I think about the schedule just came out, the 2026 schedule. You pitching with those guys behind you in the lineup, how much does that excite you for next year?
A lot. I mean, like I said, you see it. There's glimpses of it. I feel like there's been more glimpses of it lately. The plays in the outfield, the ball, the ground balls, and I rely on the defense obviously a lot. I want people to put the ball in play, and it's day in and day out. I feel like it's somebody new coming up with a crazy play, or running into the wall, or a dive and stop up the middle. And again, they're only going to get better, and it's very exciting. I can't wait. Obviously, want to finish on a high note, but can't wait. Going in all season, how much better we're going to be coming into next year.
What is it like now being a veteran guy in the clubhouse? I asked Shea Langoliers this exact same question. You used to ask the questions, and now guys are asking you the questions that you used to ask. What's that like?
I'm not sure when it happened, but it definitely flipped quickly when you're 8-10 years older than guys, and it's like, wait a minute, that doesn't seem right. I don't realize when I got so old, so to speak, but yeah, I mean, I feel like it was yesterday to where you were the young guy trying to find your way, trying to figure out how to be a pro, and now it's like not necessarily questions or whatever, it's just conversations and things, and talking to guys, and it's like, man, where did the time go? But it is, it's been a blessing. I'm very thankful for playing this long in my career so far to this point. So it is crazy though when you look around the room and guys are debuting and having all-star seasons and doing things that other rookies have never done at 22, 23 years old. Because I think I was in like low A at 22, 23. So it just speaks to their potential, their talent, and it's crazy.
The remaining starts from you, what do you want to see? What do you want to improve on, or what are you working on?
Just being consistent. I think, like I said, my stuff is almost where I want it. I want to, pitch a complete game. I want to be able to execute. There's been too many mistakes, throughout outings, whether that means, the big inning or, the long inning. For me, I want to get back to pitching how I'm capable of pitching, and that, that's 15 pitches or less an inning, attacking hitters, controlling the strike zone, and then, doing what I can control. And then after that, I'm good with it, but I want to be able to pitch like I'm capable of pitching these, these last however many it is, and give us a chance to win and feel good kind of about the season in a whole, I guess.
Is it crazy there's only 29 games left?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it really is. Just talking to somebody in the clubhouse the other day, it's like the first part, you're super excited, and you kind of go through everything's kind of a blur, those, 2-3 months in the middle, and then you look up and it's like they got football on the TV, and it's like, man, it's September almost already. But yeah, I mean, you kind of get in the flow day to day, and then you kind of lose track of time, so to speak, and then you look up and yeah, it's 20, 30 games left, and you're like, wow, another season almost over.
Well, I'll tell you what, I know you're in it right now. And when the season ends, you're going to have time to reflect and look back, as all athletes do. I think at that time, you're going to be really proud of yourself. I think you're going to see, like, the game started. That's going to mean a lot to you after what you went through, all the rehab and everything. To hit that 30 start mark, I think it's going to mean a lot to you in your career. And you're going to look back at this year as a year of super progress for you as a professional athlete. I think you'll be real proud of yourself.
I hope so. I know, I can be hard on myself at times. And, I'm sure once there's a little bit of downtime to kind of reflect, there's definitely, some good that hopefully, going to come, like you said, reaching hopefully the 30 starts, stacking some innings. And then it's just building off of that. Obviously once it's over, you kind of reflect on it for a minute, and then it's on to next year, preparing for next season, and kind of setting the goals from there. But yeah, overall, I think, in a good spot. It's just, trying to continue to work and get better.
That was crazy last weekend. We've got college football already.
I know. It's
seeing those updates. Like, Stanford's playing Hawaii. Like, what? What's going on? Hey, always appreciate the time.
Yes, sir.
It's been fun covering you this year. Good luck the rest of the way, and we'll talk soon.
All right. I appreciate you having me.
All right. Your pitching coach, Scott Emerson. Scott Emerson joined us earlier today here on A's Cast Live. We call him Dr. Emo. Here is the big left-hander, Scott Emerson. It's time to learn a little bit about pitching right here on A's Cast Live with the pitching doctor, Scott Emerson. Emo, how are you today?
Doing great. What an amazing win last night. If you missed coming out to the ballpark in West Sacramento, you missed a great game. Best pitcher in baseball pitching last night, and JT again was matching him for as long as he could. The bullpen came in and held the score the best they could, and the offense came alive. And what a home run from Shea last night to really spark the team, and a lot of excitement in our dugout last night.
When I look at certain games this year that I absolutely love, I'll go back to the game against the Milwaukee Brewers where Severino was just lights out at their yard. And at that point, we didn't realize how good they were going to be. Obviously, the Nick Kurtz with the total bases, the 19 total bases and the 4 home runs in Houston was special. I don't know. Last night might have been the best win of the year. Where would you put last night's victory?
Man, in the 11 years I've been here, the excitement in the dugout, even in our playoff games, and Liam Hendricks closing out the White Sox that day, it's right up there. I mean, MacGyver jumping around in the dugout when Shea hit that ball was great to see. I think there was a lot of guys rooting for each other last night. It was a total team win last night. Just a really exciting game for us.
Now, last night proves once again, and I'll keep saying this, and I know, and I'm just not saying it because I know you're going to agree, but the guy who has the ball needs to be a star in every single sport, or whatever the object is, because we could go hockey, right? The centers in hockey handling the puck, quarterback with the football. In basketball, we have point guards. Here in baseball, we have pitchers. And when the starting pitching matchup, it mattered. Last night, Skubal on the mound, it mattered. Everybody in this ballpark knew this guy's the best. You're going against the best. It's like when we were kids growing up, you couldn't wait for, if Nolan Ryan was coming to town, you wanted to be at the ballpark, right? And the way the team reacted, because they knew you're going up against the best. The pitching, and you already said it, JT Ginn was matching him. This shows you starting pitching, what it means to our game from an entertainment standpoint.
Yeah, I think JT did a great job. You know, he went out there and like I said, matched him as long as he could. A couple, you know, in my opinion, it's just avoiding those little mistakes. I didn't love the backdoor breaking ball because JT's been doing so good that game with his sinker and his changeup. And then we kind of went a backdoor cutter. The home run didn't bother me. It was a first pitch. We just missed location to Torres, and he was swinging. He's a ambusher, first pitch swinger often. Put a good swing on a pitch that came back to the barrel. It was just, that next pitch, I think we did the guy a favor off of JT stuff last night. But I think JT, he came out, threw the ball real well, moved it around. Changeup was excellent. Cutter up and into the hands was really good. He threw some 93, 94 mile an hour cutters. I mean, now it's about understanding your miss throughout the course of the game and play it that way. Understand what the situation is. We talk every day in spring training about game awareness. What's going to happen? How am I going to play my miss? If I throw it here, where do I miss? And what is the hitter's strength? It's taking your game to a whole nother level. And when he takes his game to a whole nother level, he's going to be a better pitcher for it, and we're going to be a better team for it.
I like JT Ginn a lot. I mean, he's got that kind. I say it all the time. He reminds me a lot of Kendall Graveman. Their stuff was similar, same height, same college, sinker slider, but now with the changeup, he's added these. I think he can be really special. And that kind of movement is just that natural movement. But you said something there, and it's so interesting because we always say strike one is the best pitch. But when you have guys, we have the ultimate ambusher on the A's. That's Tyler Soderstrom. He has the most hits off the first pitch of anybody in baseball. So when you go into a series and a guy is like Tyler Soderstrom and he's swinging first pitch, you want strike one, but the guy's an ambusher. How do you go about that?
Yeah, you just got to be able to put it in good locations. Look, in general, over the course of a season, the first pitch is the pitch that leads all pitches in home runs every year. One year it was 948 home runs in the major leagues on the first pitch. So you got to be careful with the first pitch.
Most home runs are hit on the first pitch than any other pitch.
Pitch, right? So what you have to do is you got to be able to put that first pitch in a good spot, in a good location. Look, the data tells us, we get a bunch of data. We know exactly what he's swinging at. We know where his hits are. We know where his hard contact is. We know everything. They know that we know, right? So you just got to be able to make a good pitch. And hitters are trying to, some are just looking for one pitch. If they get that pitch, they swing. If they don't get that pitch, they don't swing. You generally have an idea of those guys as well, because that's what our data tells us, right? So, I'll give you a little clue. When I go out to the mound, a lot of it is, hey, watch that first pitch. You got to be able to put your pitch in a good spot on the first one because he's probably swinging here. And, that's not a secret, So if we put it in good spots and if you got late hard movement, maybe you get a good ground ball, double play ball. If you make a mistake, the hitters make you punish it. So that's why I really don't love the term ambush, because if you throw a bad pitch on the first pitch, that's what the hitter's supposed to do. Hit a mistake on the first one. Don't throw mistakes on the first pitch.
It may be the best pitch a hitter gets. So why wouldn't you? So that's why when people are always like, they need to be more patient. It may be the best pitch you're going to see, the pitch that you're able to drive.
Now, statistically, only 8% of first pitches are put in play. But of those 8%, the batting average is right around 350.
So the first pitch generates the most home runs. Does it generate like across the board the highest OPS, highest batting average, highest everything?
Not batting average, but OPS is really high. Yes.
What is the highest batting average? Do you know?
Not offhand, but I do know that the strikeouts, or not strikeouts, but the best batting average for any hitter to hit with two strikes is 3-2. That's the one thing that I'm preaching is like throw strike one, throw strike two, throw strike one, and you miss. You got to throw strike two, win 2 out of 3. We win 2 out of 3. The best batting average is a 3-2 count, and it's roughly like 220. So we got to get to 2 strikes. So I'm preaching get to 2 strikes more often than not.
So our buddy Stephen Vogt, good friend of yours, manager of the Guardians, told our skipper, of course, Stephen Vogt played for Mark Kotze. He said 3-2, they're noticing 3-2. Umpires do not call strikes. Are you noticing that? Has the data shown you that on 3-2, they're reluctant to punch guys out? A lot of balls are called.
No, I haven't really dove into that part of it. But I do know that umpiring is the toughest job in sports. I mean, they do a great job. Hopefully that's not the case. We got ABS possibly coming, which could be a good thing. But I haven't noticed that. But hopefully we can turn the page on that.
Yeah, that's very counts, and we're dealing with human beings, right? Every umpire is different. They're human beings. We all, like players, have tendencies. Umpires have tendencies,
and we know those as well.
Check on that 3-2 count thing. I want to know if Stephen votes right on that. But your bullpen lately, not lately, going back before the All-Star break, going till June, because obviously when the team's battleship, I would say, I love the old game battleship. Your battleship sunk. Like that happened when you lose 20 of 21, followed by losing 28 of 34. It is what it is. And their bullpen really struggled. The ERA during that time was about 9. Now they regrouped. Guys have gone down. Guys have come back up. You've changed some things. Since about June 20th till now, your bullpen has been lights out. Talk about, and you've lost some guys like Mason Miller. You lost your closer, but yet your bullpen hasn't missed a beat. And 3 2/3 last night of scoreless baseball.
Yeah, I think the one thing that Kotz has done a great job of is he's not afraid to use everybody. And we've seen guys in different roles. But what we're really trying to do is put them in the best matchup that they could possibly get. Our data team, our analysts, Miles and Andrew and Jacob and Lewis and Adam Roden, they give us the information, and we try to decipher the information the best we can, and Kotz puts the guys in the best chance to have success. So when you're running that bullpen down there right now, we don't have a closer, we just have a bullpen. It's your day to pitch, it's your situation to pitch. We're trying to keep guys fresh like we did earlier when we were kind of going with the second starter maybe behind, when Ginn and Perkins were throwing some bulk innings after the starter being the long guy. So how your roster shapes out through the course of the year dictates how you're going to use guys. And right now, we lost one of the best relievers in baseball in Mason Miller. And right now, guys are stepping up, and we're just telling them, hey, these are your runs throughout the course of the game. Be ready during this opportunity in time. And you might close, you might set up, you might be the middle guy. Hogan Harris has got a couple saves. So I think it's a good
nowhere.
Thing. And I told him I was like, hey man, all of a sudden you're the closer and you throw 97. Come on.
Where is it me, or is the TV gun juiced? All of a sudden Tyler Ferguson is throwing harder. Hogan Harris is throwing like a lot harder.
Well, I think, for me, July and August are generally, and maybe June, are generally the hardest months of the season for pitchers when they come in throwing. They're just getting in shape. Their arm finally gets there. We've seen
it's hot. You're getting loose quicker.
We've seen Fergie throw 97, 98, 99 in the past last year. So I think he came in this year and his velo had been down a little bit, and maybe that contributed to some outings. And when he's 95 to 97, 98, his stuff's electric. When that velocity dips a little bit, then, obviously the stuff isn't as good. Now he's got to be a better command guy. But when he gets that fastball to 96, 97, he's got one of the best right-on-right fastballs in the league, according to our data.
Wow, man, he threw that one right by Julio Rodriguez. I was like, wow. And then is this the transition? Because Hogan Harris was a starter. When you're a starter, a lot of guys, you're not trying to air everything out because you want to go deeper in games. He's now made that transition, because I joked with him. I don't really have a fastball. All of a sudden, he now has, from a left-hander perspective, he's now got a mid-90s fastball that he didn't have before. Is this the transition of now he just knows I'm coming in, let's just air it out?
Yeah, I think so. I think, we've had that conversation about, he understood why he wasn't starting when we signed a Severino, when we traded for Springsy. Hogan was kind of the odd man out in the rotation, I guess. Spring training, we gave him some opportunities to go long in outings. And then, he's understanding his role down there in that bullpen right now. And he's understanding how important it is that every time you come into the game, you got to have your best stuff. we've worked on a little bit of harder slider. Maybe you'll see that a little bit more as the season goes on. Hopefully something that's an off-season project that he comes in throwing a slider 82 to 85 miles an hour.
With the big curveball and now 95, that's a whole different guy.
Yeah, you got to have that hard breaking ball versus lefties. Right-handers, they kind of can't pick up that breaking ball. Lefties, they see it a little bit earlier. So once he gets that hard slider to left-handers, I think it's going to open up the plate for him versus left-handed hitters, and he'll be more dominant versus those lefties.
Mason Barnett came over in the Lucas Ursig trade. What do we know about him from what he's been doing down in Las Vegas? I know the organization's very high on it.
Yeah, he's made every single start this year. His routine has gone on from day one of spring training all the way through right now. Happy to have him. Big, strong ox guy that's got a mid to upper 90s mile an hour fastball, a good sweeper, a good little slider, changeup combination. He's got really good stuff. Now it's just putting it all together at the big league level, getting him some outings out there against big league hitters and seeing what he really has to do. You don't know what they're going to do until they get up here and they face major league hitters, how their stuff's really going to play. You don't know if all of a sudden Mason Barnett's light switch flicks on and he becomes dominant, or you don't know if they get nervous and scared. And so it's always good to get these guys out. We see him as a great prospect, and now we want to see him as a great big leaguer.
I want to get into that, the learning experience for some of the players, but how we start players off. I know years ago it used to happen. I'll never forget when Sonny Gray came up and it was in Pittsburgh, and it's like, you're going to put him in the bullpen first? And Billy Bean's like, yeah, we've been doing that for years. And you're like, why don't you just start him? So tell us, and we saw with Jack Perkins earlier this year, tell us the strategy. You got a guy who is a starter. He's going to be a starter, but when you want to get his feet wet, you want him to come out of the bullpen, which obviously is not something that's comfortable for him. Take us through the strategy of why start a guy out, get his feet wet out of the bullpen.
Well, I think it's like what you said. Just get your feet wet. Just get out there, face major league hitters, maybe not feel the pressure of actually starting a big league game right now. With the injuries that we've had over the last week, it was a good opportunity to get him up here. Beto had a really good outing in Minnesota. He deserves another opportunity to go out there and see what he can do. So I think it was a good opportunity. We needed some length. It was, relatively his day to pitch. And let's bring up Mason Barnett for his big league debut. So, I think it's not really, the strategy wasn't really thought of from a standpoint of that, like, we're just going to call him up to put him in the pen. I think it was just a point that we lost two guys. We needed a long guy. We got to see what he's got to do anyways to be on the roster. Let's just call him up and get his feet wet. And you don't know, I don't know. In a couple days, you may see him start.
All right. So learning experiences at this time. So Friday, you didn't get to see it. But right after the game, we're breaking down the game. I said, you know what? I get it. We're here to win. But the number one thing to me out of Friday's game was to see just how dynamic that arm is of Luis Morales, and for him to do it in a playoff-like atmosphere. It's not exactly the playoffs. You can't replicate that. But when you're going into these stadiums where these teams need to win, there's some extreme urgency, right? Every single game, they're seeing where they match up. Seattle's trying to win the division. They're trying to stay in the wild card race. They have to win these games. And Luis Morales goes out there. That fastball was dynamic. The feel he has with the sweeper and the change. What did he show you in a hostile environment?
Wow, he was awesome. Cool, calm, and collected. I mean, that's what I thought he was. He went out there. Doesn't seem like anything rattles him. He just goes out there. Right now, so far, Luis Morales is one of my favorite students of all time. He's made some adjustments real quick in his big league career that I've really loved it so far. I think the world of this guy. I think he's got a potential to be a top-notch starter in this league. And like I said, you got to get guys out there. You got to see it, 35, 45, 50 times, just like Scooble last night. His early in his career, no one knew what he was going to be, right? So now you're looking at Luis Morales, and I'm in the bullpen when I watch this guy go, man, we got to make this guy become a superstar. I think he's got a lot of potential. He's got the weapons. So far, I've seen the mindset of him. He has the work ethic. And that's the one thing that really stands out for me. And he's a student, and that's another thing that really stands out. And everything we've talked to him about, Dan Hubbs and I have talked to him about, he's taken on and he's run with it really good, whether it's the game plan, whether it's a little alteration to the mechanics, whether it's his preparation, whether it's his shadow routine, his towel drills that he does. He's taken on everything for us, and he's just been awesome so far. So, but his pitches, they're good. I mean, Dan Feinstein, our assistant GM who signed him, a lot of credit goes out to him, identifying this guy with a great arm and the potential that he has. Now, hopefully, we get him as a coaching staff to maximize that potential.
And he's the type of pitcher to where, like, look at Skubal. Skubal is a thick guy. He's up there. He's, huffing and puffing. Morales looks like a guy that, he could go out and play shortstop. He could play center field. He's a super athletic kid. He's long. He's lean. He's that athletic kind of, looks like he could do anything on a baseball field kind of guy.
Very flexible guy. I mean, this guy's got tremendous flexibility, body control, understanding. That's the one thing we're really trying to get him to stay online a little bit better. Not saying he has an overthrow, but when he uses the ground and his front foot hits the ground and he's able to anchor himself through and over that front side with proper finish, he's really electric. And we want him to be able to do that every time. So that's where the shadow routine comes in, practicing, maintenancing your delivery come in. And so far he's done a great job.
All right, let's end on this because we know you got to go. It's just sad, these young pitchers, when you get the report, whether it's Perkins with the shoulder and now the elbow with Jacob Lopez, when you're teaching these guys and you're seeing them start to grow and they gain that confidence, neither one, it looks like they're going to be detrimental. They'll be back. But just how rough is that as a pitching coach when you're starting to see the light go on and your pupils are starting to get it and all of a sudden they got to shut it down for a while?
Yeah, it's real tough. You just want them to understand that they can come to you as a coach if they have any feeling into any part of their body. I want to understand that and know that. And same with our athletic training staff wants to be able to help these guys through any nags or injuries. Well, hey, look, when guys are pitching good at the big league level and they're the competitors that they are, they want to grind through some things.
Yes.
They got to understand what pain is and what sore is. And, that's advice for every pitcher, understand what pain is and understand what soreness is. But when you're pitching good and you feel like you're helping the team, you want to get out there every fifth day. And I commend those guys for that. I just pray that for their good health and like you said, nothing's detrimental right now, and they'll come back and be strong for us.
Yeah, we talk about that all the time. Is you have to protect athletes from themselves, and I think that's one of your great strengths is your relation. You have great relationships with your pitchers because they know you care about them, and you care about their health, and you care about them off the field. It's so that kind of communication is so key that if they do have something, they've got to feel like they can come to you and be like, something's not right.
Yeah, I hope so. I always try to tell them, hey, look, I want to be like your pitching dad, but what comes with that is like discipline too. Like your dad disciplined you, your dad told you what's right and what's wrong. He's going to steer you in the right direction. So that's the trust that I want to always try to develop with them. You may not like what I'm going to say to you right now, but I'm trying to steer you in the right direction to be, somebody that's going to feed us. Matt Keogh always used to say that when he was around here with the Oakland A's, who's going to feed us? And so, I want our players to understand I am there for them. Dan Hubbs and I, we're there for you. We want what's best for you. Our data team wants what's best for you. And, sometimes, I got to be the bad guy and deliver the honest truth to them. And they may not like it, but hopefully that we've developed enough relationship that they understand how much I care for them.
Well, I know this. All the guys that ever played for you. We had Dallas Braden here yesterday. He played for you in the minor leagues. And all the guys that have been here who played for you, nothing but love. They tell you, and it's not about pitching. It's about what you mean to them in their lives. And that says a lot. That's what a great teacher, that's what a great coach does. You build those relationships. We always appreciate the time. Good luck the rest of the way. And, of course, we'll talk to you next homestand.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Dr. Emo right here on A's Cast Live.
Looking to stay up to date on all things A's? Head over to athletics.com/A'sCast. That's athletics.com/A'sCast to listen to A's baseball in full 24/7 coverage of the A's, only on A's Cast. With a single click, you can stream great shows, live pre- and post-game coverage, and of course, all the great action of the A's this season. Head to athletics.com/A'sCast today.
This has been a presentation of The Athletics.